So after months and months of deliberation on a case that ended July 27th, that's right, we're talking July 27th to November the 2nd, we finally have an answer to what transpired between Johnny Depp versus the Sun. This answer, it's disappointing too. I'm sure that you see the thumbnail there, but it's not the end-all be-all. Why is that? Well, let's talk about this a little bit. Let's talk about what was involved in the case. Let's talk about how this, again, it was more than just this case. You have two cases involved here, and let's talk about that other thing called hearts and minds. So hey there. So today, you and I, we return to that not-so-wonderful world of Johnny Depp coverage. And I don't say that jokingly. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but at the same time, while this is disappointing, it is not some end-all, be-all. So when you and I talk about this case, there's a specific name that comes up again and again, Nick Wallace. And I think that name, Nick Wallace, it showcases the game changer that this particular case is. Why? Because Nick Wallace was crowdfunded by people like you, by people like myself. We'd gotten tired of media representation or media disinformation, as it were, about this, and we wanted to know what was going on. This guy, he was available, he was live tweeting, he was going to go to it one day, but people crowdfunded him being there for 2 weeks, and beyond that, he supplied all of the documentation you're looking at here, the stuff we've been reviewing, so props to him. Now, if you look at the way that this case is set up, too, it had quite a few things involved. And when I look at the involvement here, I'm not surprised that the case went the way that it did, but again, I'm disappointed because I think that a blind person could actually see what was presented. If you look at this, you have the opening arguments. The opening arguments from NGN and Dan Wooten were essentially, well, why don't you go and listen to this person? Because listen and believe. In fact, when we were listening to this person, that's why we wanted all of his jobs removed. That's why we were talking about Harry Potter being taken away from him and on. Now, if you look at the Johnny Depp opening statement and the Johnny Depp skeletal argument, what it does is it presents a factual case. You have surveillance video that's brought up. You have text messages that are brought up. You have quite a few things that really fly in the face of a specific narrative, and that it troubles me that narrative still stood, at least to some point. Really, when we boil this case down, that's what this decision says, right? That this stood. And I wonder, how many incidents do you have to disprove before you undo an entire case? How many times can someone present falsehood before you say, yeah, that person, they can't be trusted? Now, one of the things that really troubles me about this decision is the fact that the witnesses involved, well, on the Johnny Depp side, they come from all walks of life, and Johnny Depp himself, like I said, he is presenting a factual narrative. He supplies surveillance video showing you pictures from an elevator saying, those marks that are supposedly there? Well, they're not there from May 21st to May 26th. They pop up on the 27th, and then, well, here's some more pictures showcasing how they leave on the 28th. By the way, here's some text messages, here's some pictures of my own, and yeah, that says quite a bit. On the other side of that, you have AH. AH presents 7 different witness statements. One of them is almost 30 pages long, and they detail 14 incidents all told. One of them specifically coming up, I was going to say created, but coming up, I'll say it that way, for this case. Can you imagine that? She's been out here, she's been talking about this for quite some time, but one incident, it just popped into her mind, and it's the worst of them all. In fact, you can talk about the other 13 in open court, but this thing is so harrowing that you cannot discuss it except behind closed doors. I think that says something too. Now, when you look at the people that are involved on the Johnny Depp side of things, you have quite a few. You have exes here. Winona Ryder, here's his current ex, by the way. You had Stephen D. This was an employee of his. You had Trinity Esparza, who worked for the building that he lived at, but doesn't have any connection to him whatsoever now. She's the one that provided surveillance footage. She provides eyewitness testimony. She also links Elon Musk this and so much more. You have bodyguards. You have a few of them here, and I find the bodyguards fascinating fascinating because these people, they blend into the walls, as it were, and they hear quite a few things going on. You have Tara Roberts. Here's an estate manager. You have another estate manager here in Kevin Murphy. Samantha McMillan. This is a person that disproves another one of the incidents. You know where you hear about James Corden? Yeah, we have video that shows that nothing happened there. We have the person applying makeup that says that nothing happened there. And yet we have this freaking outcome. I mean, that is a travesty of justice. We have house cleaner here that involves Poopgate. I mean, that is an insane thing to talk about. We also have all of these people that are involved, like Stephen D., Hilda Vargas, Kevin Murphy, and on, telling us that, well, we used to go along with AH on certain things because if we didn't, she would make everything miserable. Kate James, this was somebody that worked for her. These two people alone, they bring up the Australian incident again. You're going to see AH have problems in court because of that. She may actually spend time in jail because of that issue, because Australia isn't happy. And they also bring up certain things like Homeland Security. And Kate James, she provides receipts. That's right, there are receipts of this. Again, more bodyguards here. You have other estate managers that talk about Australia, that talk about a certain finger and what they thought happened, including a phone that AH said was broken. Yeah, it not being broken because they didn't have to replace it, and so much more. Now, on the AH side, again, you have AH. And, well, look at the people that are here. You have her sister. She and her sister, by the way, they have to go in and they have to change up their entire statements because other evidence comes up. Some pictures come to light they didn't realize existed, and it blows up the entire time frame. But again, we get this decision. I mean, it really makes you wonder, right? You have a freeloader here, also the best friend of AH. So yeah, somebody that is directly connected. This person was her fiance, so they're directly connected here. You have another best friend here, and on and on. All of these people, they are directly connected. And that, again, it doesn't even involve the police or other people that gave statements that, again, were not connected to Johnny Depp in any way, and this proved this narrative. Now, what's fascinating about the police, too, is AH says, oh, the police, they saw something. Raquel Pennington says, yeah, the police saw something. They said this and that to me, and the police say, yeah, that's not what happened at all. But hey, again, we got this. Now, as far as evidence here is concerned, I mean, there's so much more involved as well. We had 2016's TMZ video, the one that was supposed to be the end-all, be-all, so in Johnny Depp at his quote-unquote worst, yeah, that was a setup. We saw the unredacted version, and that said plenty. We also saw that AA, she secretly recorded friends, quote-unquote friends, I hope you can see those quotations there, Johnny Depp and on. And while she was recording, we found out certain things like, I don't know, her meeting with Johnny Depp after she had filed a DVRO, trying to basically make sure that he would go along with what she wanted. And if he didn't, well, you saw what happened. I mean, this stuff, again, we have it all detailed, and yet we have this outcome. It really cuts away your trust in the judicial system. The outcome that is positive here, though, is the hearts and minds portion, because Johnny Depp, he was finally allowed to talk about what had transpired. You know, he wasn't allowed to talk about it for years. There was a campaign against him that cost him pirates, that almost cost him Harry Potter and more. And now you have people in Hollywood standing up. They're demanding a reckoning. Yeah, I think that says something. You also have the title bout coming up with Johnny Depp versus AH, and that, it's going to showcase so much more. You're going to see something about charity, for example. You know, 7 million little reasons that somebody probably didn't pay out. It looks like, at least now. You're going to hear from Elon Musk. I think those things, they're going to work for further vindication. And again, even if you have courtroom outcomes that mirror this, the one thing that you're not going to have is a hearts and minds win. But anyway, let me know what you think about this stuff. Again, I know I am the bearer of bad omens. I am bringing you bad news. I did not want to do that, but this is the reality of it. But anyway, let me know what you think about this stuff. And as always, I appreciate the heck out of you. You know, you folks have been here while I've investigated this thing. I've gone through every piece of witness statement and on. And yeah, I mean, we'll be going through a few more things before we take a break for a while. I mean, the case, the new one, is not coming up until May 2021. So yeah, you and I need a break. break. But anyway, let me know what you think. If you want to help out the channel, there are links in the description. And as always, I appreciate the heck out of you folks. You've made all of this possible, so thank you.